Alright people, this video is going to cover replacing the door lock actuator in a 2005 Toyota Highlander. I'm going to go through how to get the door off. I already have the door panel. Basically, I've just hooked it back on there. I've already taken the screws out just to make this video speed it up a little bit. So there's a pin right here you have to take out. Take a flathead screwdriver, push in the, you'll see it'll be clear when you look at it, but there's a little plastic pin. Push in the middle of that pin and that will release it, and then you can take the plastic pin out. Right here there's a door to get the cover for your door handle. There's a little door that comes open. You can get that open with a flathead screwdriver. Then a Phillips head screw is there. Take that out. This is your coin holder, goes on the door. See the little clips on the side. To get that off, I used a flat putty knife, carefully because you don't want to damage the armrest. Obviously there's a little clip you can compress, and as you push in the little clip, pull up on it, and then this will pop out. Once you get that out, another Phillips head screw right there. Then this little plastic piece goes right here in the corner. It snaps in. You can get your fingers in behind it and pull it out, or if you can't get it with your fingers, I would put maybe a little towel or something over this, or paper towel. Put it in, because you don't want to scratch it, especially if your windows are tinted like mine. You don't want to scratch it. So put that in, and you should be able to pry this off. But this piece has to come off in order for this panel to come off. So don't forget about that. Now, this, to get this cover off, once you take the screw out, you can take a screwdriver between the lock and the little frame, and if you pry up, the top part will pop out, and then do the same thing at the bottom. Put it in, twist a little bit, and that'll pop out, and then you can remove this. But this, two little holes, one at the top, one at the bottom, and they're tiny little pins that you have to free from these holes. That's not a great explanation, but that's what's holding it in. So you've got to pry that up, pry that down, then each will pop out, then you pull the handle and you slide it off. So now the door's ready to come off. They're plastic pins, reusable pins all the way around the bottom, around the sides and the bottom. I already have those off. So all I have to do now is lift it up. I already have the electrical connections taken loose also. One right here, as you can see, there's a little spot around the back. This part right here you can press. You press that in and you pull it out. Same with this at the bottom, the little door light at the bottom. It's got a little piece you press in and pull that out. This one's a little tricky to get to, but it goes, it's obvious where it goes. Right there. Alright, one right there and one at the bottom. Now your door panel's off. Here are the pins I was talking about that are reusable. They'll pop right back in, and if one happens to fall out, if it falls out like that, you can just slide it right back in. Alright, so now you got your door panel off. And you can see by this tape that I've been in this door before about a month ago. I replaced the motor in my door lock actuator, hoping that was all it was. And that worked for a couple of weeks. I replaced both motors actually in the front, both front doors. Passenger side's doing fine. This side started buzzing again, so I believe it wasn't just a motor, it's the gears. So I put this duct tape up to help keep the plastic from coming down, once I pulled it off that first time. But this stuff is, as you can see, it's reusable, sticky. So you're going to need to pull that off. Oh, getting ahead of myself. 10mm bolt right here. That's got to come off, because this is going to come out with the door lock actuator. There's your bolt, and this slides out. There's two little holes right there that these little clips fit into, and you fish this through the plastic. Alright, so that should give me enough room Now, there's a, let me see if you can see this. These 3 screws right here. Hold on. Here, here, and here. These have to come out. It's not a standard screwdriver. It's one of those star-shaped screws. So make sure you have. Make sure you have the right, before you even start this job, make sure you have this driver, that right fitting. And this one was in I bought a set of little screwdriver set from Lowe's for $5, and this one was in it. So these 3 screws have to come out. These 2 screws right here are bolts. Let me see if you can see that right there. Yeah, you can see it. Also 10mm. They have to come out. I have a 10-minute limit on my camera, so I'm trying to get this done. Alright. These 3 hold the lock actuator on. These 2 hold the window tracking. So be careful as you take it apart. You know, look down in there so that you know. And also we've got this little clip right here, holds the cables for your door. So now there's a little metal tab you've got to push through. Now it's all free in there. Oh, no it's not, I'm sorry. Alright, hold on, I'm gonna have to pick up the camera to show you this part. Alright, there are 2 rods that come up from the top of the door actuator. You can see that little red or pinkish clip down there, plastic clip, and you can see the yellow clip right here. Let me see if I can get the light to stay in there so I don't. Alright, this yellow one, see right there, I'm going to pull towards me, and that little clip's going to come loose. There you go, there's that one. Now the one down there is going to be a little more difficult to see, but you do the same thing. Hold on, and you pull it towards you, and it pops off. You can see where the rod comes out, and that's just going to snap back into that plastic, and then you're going to push that down to snap it on. This one right here, the yellow one, rod's a little trickier to get out. You can see right there, this rod has to come out of there, but it's kind of tricky to get out because it's stuck in there so good. So what you can do is, this hole right here on the side of your door, this little plastic cover is in there. You can pop that out, pry that out. That will give you some place. You can put a flathead screwdriver through there, and you're going to push. You're going to put, and I'm going to have to put the, I'm not going to be able to show you this part, but see where I'm putting it right on the ball, right on the end of that arm, and then I'm going to tap this screwdriver with the palm of my hand, and that's going to pop that out. So I'll be right back after I do that. But be careful because you don't want to hit it so hard that you break the plastic piece. Alright, now you can see what I was talking about. See where that arm, that plastic arm is now loose. So I'll be able to pull the door lock actuator out now. Alright, this electrical connector has to come out from the bottom of the door lock actuator. It presses. There's a little clip right there around the back. So as you're trying to do it, it's going to be on the back side. So you've got to press it in and pull that out. So now we've got to fish this, and the 2 metal rods sometimes get hooked on things as you try to get them out. So here we go. all of this out. This hole at the bottom. There we go. Alright, and this right here, that's what we're replacing, right there. Alright, and this zip tie is holding it together. I'll show you when I get inside, take it apart. I replaced just the motor, like I said before, but it's still buzzing. So that's why I'm going to replace the whole assembly. It was $33. I'll show you. It's actually an actuator meant for a Toyota Rav4, but it's, for whatever reason, you can't buy, it's an identical part. It matches this identically, but you can't buy just this for a 2005 Highlander. You have to buy this whole assembly, which you don't need the whole assembly. Just this piece is all you need. Alright, but I'll break it down inside when I get this on the workbench. Alright, but that's how you get it out of the car. Alright, now, as you can see, perfect match. There's a new one. To get the old one off, 3 screws. This one's got to come out. These two on the back have to come out. I've already got them loosened up. So now we're about to hit a point where you really need to pay attention to how this is attached right in here. See these 2 holes right there? That little plastic arm fits in the hole that's closest to the main body of the lock, and in here is where the lock mechanism, you know, the gears that actually turn, you know, these rods pull, unlock your lock, and then when you pull your door handle it pulls on this. So anyway, that's what's in here. This is the part with the gears and the motor that gives it the power. But where this part we're replacing connects to this other housing, that's what you have to be very careful of. So we've got it loose now. Alright, and here's the tricky part. Let me get my, we got a tripod set up here. This, as you can see, the arm's going to come out, and then there's a little kind of a ball and socket thing, and then right there's a little wire, kind of like it's on like a throttle. If you've ever messed with a lawnmower, you're connecting a throttle cable. It's got like a 90-degree turn. That little piece right there has got to go into the hole, and then you've got to twist this to get it to snap back on. But just pay very close attention before you take it apart as to how this is connected, so that you know how to put it back together. Alright, there you go. Perfect match. And again, this is for a 2000, I think this was actually for a 2007 Toyota Rav4, because you can't, or at least I couldn't find this piece, just this piece, for a 2005 Highlander. And I read where someone online had used a Highlander actuator and it worked just fine, so that's what I did. So $33, as opposed to all that I found was you had to buy all of this for an 05 Highlander. Alright, so I'm going to reconnect this and get it all screwed back together, and then we'll go from there. Alright, I want to show you 2 things here. Number 1, here's the new one installed. There's your 1 screw in the front, 2 around the back, and again, be very careful about knowing where this reconnects here. But it was a perfect match. This is the old one. This is the one that I actually replaced the motor in, like I said, about a month ago. If you take a flathead screwdriver, you can put it right in here. That'll pop open. There's your motor. There are the gears. Be careful if you're just replacing the motor that this pin right in the middle of that sprocket, this pin can fall out. It fell out both times when I replaced the motors on the passenger and front side door. So be careful of this falling out. And if you see it, that's where it goes, right there. And make sure you're working someplace where if it does fall out, you won't lose it. Alright, the motor, if you're just replacing the motor snaps into these 2 little connectors right there. There's the holes in the back, they correspond, that snaps right in. This little gear here, shaft, whatever you want to call it, slides off. The motor has a flat side on it. right there. And again, if you're just replacing the actuator, $33, you don't have to worry about all this. If you want to try your luck at a $5 repair, there's a flat side on the shaft. You can see there's a flat side on this little adapter, and that slides right back on there. And the motor goes back in. There's your two holes. I'm going to save this motor because I know it's a good motor. And the motor snaps right there. This goes back together just like that, making sure the pin is in there. And I had put a zip tie around it because it's not really that tight. You know, now that you've taken it off once, I mean, it snaps together, but it's not very tight. So I put a zip tie around it to hold it. And the passenger side's doing fine. You know, it's not like there's a lot of pressure on it to pop it open, but I put a zip tie around it just to be sure. So that's what you can do just to try a $5 fix as opposed to $33. But like I said, this one was grinding and, you know, clicking like the gear itself, and this one wasn't good. Something had gone bad other than just the motor. It worked initially, but then it started going bad. Passenger side, I just replaced the motor. It's going fine. Anyway, that's how to do it. I'll put information on the specific information. And again, this is for a 2005 Highlander, 6-cylinder, and it was about $33. So installation is a reversal of taking it all apart, and that's it. Hope this video helped, and hoped it will save you a little bit of money. All right. Peace out from the state of Georgia. Alright, here's everything back together. No problems. And the test. Oh, it's not going to let me lock it because the key's in there. Hold on. Let me show you the window first. Because you know you mess with the window track. So you want to make sure when you reinstalled it, that your window works properly. Now let me take the key out of the ignition because it won't let me lock the car with the key in it. So here we go. Oop. Lock, unlock, lock, unlock. No noise. Working good. Hope this video helped. And here's what you need again: 10mm socket, flathead screwdriver, Phillips head screwdriver. This little one right here, putty knife to get the coin holder on the armrest off. This little connector right there, don't start unless you know you have that, because you will not be able to get this off unless you have the right connector. And again, a $5 kit at Lowe's had this one in it for me. Alright, so good luck. Peace out.